Welcome everyone to another episode of Time for BL. This is the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, novels, and comics, all in the boys love genre. Alright everybody. So, I'm actually excited about reviewing this one. History is a Taiwanese anthology series. The first season had 3 different storylines. Second season had 2 different storylines. Third season has 2 different storylines. And they got better and better as they went along. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about History Trapped. To me, it was the best history I have seen. And I'm going on everything before. I have not seen Make Your Days Count, or Make Our Days Count, sorry. Mainly because I already know the big plot twist. Because, of course, you know, fans, like, put it out there. Can you believe this happened in this? It's like, I don't want to watch it now. I don't like watching shows that have that. Yes, Stray Cat. I haven't put it out because I love animals. Anyway, so History Trapped is definitely my favorite. You can see the quality definitely change with all the history seasons. This one was definitely one of the better ones. Better actors than all of the previous seasons. I was like, kept going down. Yeah, better actors than all of the previous seasons, definitely. Andy, Kenny, Chris, and Jake did an amazing job. I think they all did a fantastic job as the leads, especially Kenny, because he's younger than the rest. It's like one of his first shows. From the information I gathered, it's like one of his first shows. So, like, yeah. I do wonder if the reason why they got him is because he can, like, walk, do handstands and do the crab walk and stuff like that. Because I found out when I was, like, reading up on him, he does acrobatics or acrobatic dancing or whatever it is. So, yeah, awesome. Like, I'm just imagining the writer going, oh, he can do that? Does crab walk in prison? Like, just adding things, random things for him to do just because he can do it. Anyway, History Trapped. This is a storyline that follows. It's very different from the rest of the history series because a lot of them was just plain romance. Like, if anyone can remember, what's it called? Right or Wrong? And that is from the second season. It's not the one with the volleyball, it's the one with the teacher and the students. That was pretty much just a romance storyline. Actually, Crossing the Lines was pretty much a romance storyline as well. Obsessed. Romance storyline. My Hero. A romance storyline with a twist. And Stay Away From Me. Oh gosh. Did I call Stay Away From Me a romance storyline? Because I don't even know if that was a romance storyline. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Stay Away From Me was my least favorite of all of the history series, and it might just be the acting that made me go, oh. Or it might be that I just felt like so much was chopped up because even with the editing, I was like, when did that happen? Hold on, that happened? When did it happen? Like, I found myself asking that a lot. But History Trapped is different. Going into History Trapped, so this is the story of Xiaofei and Tang Yi. Xiaofei is a police officer who has been very obsessed with catching the criminal Tang Yi, who he thinks is involved with the murder of his mentor, an older officer named, what's her name? Officer Li Juan? Okay. But of course, surrounding her death, people are saying she was tied to criminal gangs and all this stuff. There's like a lot going on there. And he wants to prove her innocence, find out the truth, and he thinks Tang Yi's, responsible or involved in her murder. And we also meet Tang Yi's right-hand man, Jack. Jack automatically became my favorite person in the entire series the second he showed up on the screen. I was like, I don't know who he is, but I love him. He's like the anime character, like once he steps out, he's just like, it's like a signal to everyone, like, him, yes, he's awesome. And so our secondary couple we go to is Jack and Zhao Ji. And oh my gosh, I love these two. They are so cute. Um, and I have to say, I find their storyline more ethical than Tangy and Xiaofei for many reasons. So let's try and stick to just Tangy and Xiaofei first. All right. So Tangy already has rumors that he is interested in both males and females and anyone in the nightclub. You know, Xiaofei sees him rubbing up on somebody and gets jealous. And of course, we have his one of his like guys in the in the gang who's a high up, close enough to him, but still like, you down there, bro. Gu Dao Yi, who has a huge crush on Tang Yi and is like trying to impress him, do things for him, and just, oh my gosh, if I had to choose between Gu Dao Yi and Xiaofei, honestly, at the end of the day, Gu Dao Yi is definitely creepier, way creepier. So we also meet Tang Yi's younger sister, Hong Ye, who I just have to say, the romance storyline for her, because it's not even because she's with the older guy. I would have no problem with that. It's the fact that he knew her when she was a child that I was like, that's why he's so worried. I was like, that makes sense why he doesn't really want to be in a relationship with her. Like, imagine watching someone growing up and then marrying them. That's weird. So that made sense why he was like, no. But also her intro is very weird, which makes me just think, especially when we see how she was younger, talking about the bike and all that stuff, that she just has no filter and she like is just an inappropriate person in life. Like that's what it just gives off to me. Like, she's just normally inappropriate. That's just Hong Yi. That's just her. But anyway, my only gripe with the Tang Yi Xiaofei situation is the fact that Xiaofei is so obsessed with him. You know, like I said, it was very unethical because, you know, he's a gang leader. Oh, he's trying to go legitimate. Cool. You were chasing him for 4 years. It's like, dude, when you start having a crush on the criminal you swore you'd capture, think about it. just a little bit, please. But at the same time, we do get some really nice scenes with them. Xiaofei's cute confession, Tang Yi's awesome reply. I felt so sorry for Yuqi in that scene because she's like, oh my god, no. But at the same time, I was definitely asking the same question she was when she was just like, you know, you've been chasing him for 4 years and now all of a sudden you guys are going through these situations together. You've been kidnapped together. Spoiler. You've been kidnapped together and now, you know, you got shot protecting his family, like all this stuff. Maybe that's why you feel the way you do about him. I can definitely understand where she was coming from with that, because I was like, yeah, that's true too. It really could be just like, oh, now you're learning this new side of him, so you're having feelings for him. It really could be that. But at the same time, it was a really cute confession and a really cute reply. My biggest gripe with the entire show, honestly though, my biggest gripe, this is supposed to be like some crime thriller mystery kind of show, and I feel like if we just took out all the romance and just kept it as a crime thriller, it wouldn't hold up. It'd be solved too easy. So honestly, with the romance in there and adding the romance to the genre, it makes it better and it fills the story out better. But I really wish like this went a little bit darker, a little bit grittier. I kind of wish it was a Law and Order Taiwan kind of deal, you know, Law and Order Taiwan with gays. Like I would have loved that. I feel like, but I guess, you know, at the same time they're trying to keep a certain audience entertained and they don't want to go probably too dark. There's probably not that many people like me who who want, actually no, the audience is predominantly women, and we all know women love their crime dramas. If you're a woman who doesn't love your crime dramas, give it a couple years At some point, you're going to find yourself listening to a true crimes podcast and going, this is interesting. Next thing you know, you're watching How to Make a Murderer on Netflix. So I give it time. But yeah, for me, I just felt like the criminal storyline wasn't as like good as it could have been. It didn't hold up on its own like as much as it should have. And that definitely, I wish it did more. I definitely wish it did more. But like the kidnapping scene, I loved how their teamwork during the kidnapping. I loved Xiaofei's like delirious like ideas of, oh yeah, we could do this will totally work. And Tang Yi just going, okay, you're really delirious, we need to get you out of here. But I wish we saw how they actually got out. I wish, like, did he actually go with one of the plans? Like, I'm imagining him just jumping down, taking out the two guys, and then getting Xiaofei into the van and driving him to the hospital. I want to know how they got out. It'd probably be so like unbelievable. No one wanted to write it. That's probably it. So all the little things that get revealed, of course, with Tang Yi and where he's from and all that stuff, and Xiaofei, like them having that connection, like their relationship, everything. It kind of goes to everything being kind of like fate, or like. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting words. So it's either everything is fate or it's just a coincidence. Like, it's a coincidence that, you know, he gets adopted by someone who, like, no spoiler, he gets adopted by someone who knew his birth parents. Like, that. Not the first adoption, the second adoption. We're not talking about the first adoption here. But the second adoption, he gets adopted by someone who knew his birth parents. He is raised to run the same gang. Oh, he ends up going after someone who he thinks killed his dad, who it turns out he even has a deeper connection to that he doesn't know about. Like, all these things, it's like, either it's all fate or it's all coincidence. And so much coincidence can't be happening at the same time. How does he end up falling in love with someone who was able to figure out who his mother was just because of a music box? Like, a music box, like, solves that mystery. Like, wow. And I have to say, Dao Yi, Gu Dao Yi, I really liked him. And I was like, wow, he's a really good actor. And then I looked up and like, oh, he's been acting for a long time. That makes sense. And I have to say, the whole, like, scene where he's trying to force himself on his boss, that whole scene, I actually really love how it was filmed, even though I was still going, dude, you're in a car. But I love how it was filmed. Like, the cinematography on Trapped was so good. The acting was so good. I felt like the script was written a lot cleaner than some of the previous history shows. That scene with Dao Yi and Tang Yi, in the car, the rape scene I'm still talking about, like, that whole thing, it wasn't rape. There was no rape. It was sexual assault. There was no rape. There was no rape. But that whole scene and how it was done and how it was filmed, I think they just did such an amazing job with all of this that I was really impressed, because I thought Crossing the Line was going to be the best thing I ever got from history. But then when Trapped came out, I was like, wow, they got better. I didn't know they were going to get better. I didn't know they were going to come this hard. I'm completely impressed. I'm completely impressed with them. And I have to say, definitely makeup and special effects was amazing. Like, especially watching the scene where it was Xiaofei and Tang Yi the first time. Xiaofei is trying to like flirt with Tang Yi and take his shirt off. And we see, like, I don't know if anyone else noticed it. Well, you should notice it. You can see where the bullet was. Like, there's a mark there to show where he got shot. Like, I was like, whoa, that's there. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. And then, like they keep up with that with all the scarring. With Chen Wenwu and Tang Guodong, when we see them in the past running away from those guys, the scar on Chen Wenwu's face, when I saw like the blood and stuff on it, I was like, so was this all set up, or did they use his real life scar and just like, hey, we're gonna say this is how you got it? Like that to me, like if they took advantage of this guy's real life scar for that, amazing. Like, that's a way to use it. The same way they used Kenny with his acrobatics. Like, that's amazing. That's great. To me, that's great. And, oh my gosh, going back to that scene with the taking off of the shirt, that sexy saxophone, man. I was like, Kenny G's in the house. The sexy sax was all the way. Now, Jack and Zhaoji, I'm like holding back, waiting to get to them, because to me, they actually were the breakout couple. They became my favorite really fast, and it has a lot to do with, like, even when they met with Jack kidnapping Zhaoji, and like the whole questioning between the two of them, it made me realize something about Zhaoji, because at first I was looking at him like, how is he a cop? But that scene made me realize why he is a cop. He is so good at, like, just figuring people out. Like, he has a sense of people and figuring stuff out, because he's, like, asking at first, like, wait a minute, you brought me here. You don't know anything either. All right, this is a waste of time. Like, let's not even go any further. We're wasting our time. Like, automatically. I like that was really good. I like how they put that in. I love how the very next day he's like demanding food, and Jack is just giving him all the food he wants and just sitting down and watching him eat. And I felt like Andy, the actor who plays Jack, I actually thought he did a really good job with the facial expressions, especially because Jack smiles a lot during the show. But like, I was watching because I wanted to see, are his smiles different? Because the smiles all look the same, pretty much, but his eyes are what change. So when the way he looks at Zhaoji, like after the kidnapping incident, when he kidnaps Zhaoji and feeds him food, the way he looks at him is so different. Like, his look at first, the first time he sees him, is like this cocky, hey, you're coming with me. But then after that, it's like, hi, how are you? Hey. And it's very friendly and very intrigued by him and like getting close to him. And I think Andy did a very good job with that. I love the scene where Zhaoji is putting in all the cameras and he's touching the bodyguard, and then like in the water, like touching, like staring at Jack's chest, like, oh my gosh. Oh my, those two just made me happy. They just made me so happy. And I have to say, one of the things I really liked about the character Jack, he was just so good at his job. With him, with his plot twist, I actually didn't see it coming that much. Like, I contemplated, is it possible someone is doing this, or someone that, or, you know, is it him? Is it him? Is it him? I contemplated different possibilities, but the twist was so good. When I saw it with Jack, I was like, oh, it is him. Whoa. Like, it actually was a good enough twist that it surprised me enough. The twist with the police officer, they already like started like early going, yeah, it might be him. It might be him. And I just really loved Jack. He's just so Jack, man. I loved how Jack and Zhaoji, like the whole feeding him, kidnapping him when he was going to eat Thai food. And I just want to make sure everyone knows right now, Thai food is better than everything else. I used to eat Thai food almost every day. Oh my gosh. Thai food is better than everything else. But yeah, kidnapping him to feed him Thai food. Kidnapping him on his bike to explain the full situation. I love how, like, Jack gives Zhaoji space after the whole confession thing. which, by the way, he holds him up against the wall. Like, seriously, dude. But after the whole confession thing, he obviously gives him a couple days of space, and when he goes to see him again, you know, after Zhaoji's had some time to like kind of process what's going through, he mentioned something, and he's like, wait, so you want me to live, right? You want me to live a long life? That's what's going on? Like, for him to finally get like a confirmation of, is this a thing? Is this not a thing? And I didn't feel like he was pushing Zhaoji, like, say we're a thing, say we're a thing. He was being very honest with his feelings, and he felt like his feelings were being reciprocated, so he was just, yeah, all right, I can flirt a little more because you haven't told me to get out of your life. so I'm guessing I can keep flirting and see where this is going. Oh, I loved Jack and Zhaoji. Oh my gosh, I loved them. And oh gosh, I love Zhaoji's positive outlook on the world. Like how he talks about how he doesn't see people as being bad. He sees people as having situations that make them that has them make bad choices. Like, oh, I love his view on the world. I love because I think a lot of people look at it as childlike. I look at it as idealist. Like, you're someone who has an ideal view of the world, and you want to see the good in all people. And I wish I could do that. He is like, I loved his character completely. I loved him telling his grandma's fortunes, like, oh yeah, this is what my grandma said was gonna happen. This is what my grandma said was gonna happen. And he's like, yeah, my grandma said that I'll find someone who feeds me. And Jack is like, I brought you food. Like, just instantly, I brought food. I'm someone who'll feed you. Are you into me yet? Oh gosh. History Trapped. It's a great show. I have nothing really negative to say about it, except there's a scene where Chen Wen-hu spikes the camera. So Spike, he was looking in a direction, and because he was supposed to turn and look in the direction, but he ended up actually looking directly into the camera and then turned to look away from the camera. That basically what that told me when I was watching it is he wasn't supposed to look directly in the camera, or it just looked so uncomfortable when he looked directly in the camera he had to turn his head. Usually when an actor is playing a character and they're looking directly in the camera, because it look, especially in a situation like that where he's finished talking to someone and turned, it's breaking that fourth wall, and it's like he's having a conversation with the audience. And this wasn't a fourth wall breaky kind of show. Like, there can be really serious dramas that break the fourth wall, but this wasn't one of those. So like, in cases like that, usually when the person turns and looks in the camera is what would move. Like, the camera would do like a swerve or anything. Like, they will a tilt, something, a pan, something, so that it's not that uncomfortable. Oh, he's looking in the camera. You're going, oh, he's looking off into the distance. He's looking at the wall. He's looking at something. Or, they turn around to show he's looking at this item. But it was obvious it was like looking at, wait, don't look at the camera. I'm sorry, film nerd. That film nerd is coming out of me. But yeah, like the looking away from the camera, really caught me, and I was like, wow, that sucks. And there was like little things here and there where I was like, ooh, that's kind of awkward, but it wasn't overwhelming. That's what I liked about History Trapped. Any awkward scenes, like, oh my gosh, Right or Wrong has some scenes with I can't remember his name, and I don't care to. I'll review it one day and probably will purposely remember his name then. But in History 2 Right or Wrong, the actor who plays the professor, he was just so awkward to me the whole time, because I couldn't figure out what he was. Is he just a monotone kind of guy? Is he the kind of guy who's just so focused on work and so serious that he that's his only facial expression? Like, it was just so weird, uncomfortable, all of the above. But in this, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable. There was only like a few things here and there where it was kind of like, that's creepy, but I also feel like that was done for effect. Like, that's creepy. Well, I guess it's supposed to be creepy. Oh my gosh, the acting. I always just saw History as one of those low budget projects that's gonna come out every year with a new season, and I was cool with it. But all I gotta say is History Trapped. They have no excuses now. If they come out with something looking like Obsessed, I'll be so disappointed. Like, Obsessed wasn't horrible, but Obsessed just had me going, get off my screen. I finished it anyway, but I never watched it again. I watched it once, and that was good enough for me. And now Tang Guodong, Chen Wenhu, and Officer Lei Jun, like, their whole storyline where we find out about them and them knowing each other and how deep their connection actually runs. I love that too, especially since they've been chasing Chen for how long and trying to catch him, and then finding out who he is, like all that stuff. Oh wow, I loved it. Rating 8.5 out of 10, because like, I want to be like, it's a 9 out of 10, it's a 9.5 out of 10. Nothing gets a 10 out of 10 for me. But the truth is, if I said 9.5 out of 10, I'd be rating it against the other History series. It would be like, versus History Trapped versus all the History series I've seen, 9.5 out of 10. But if I was to take its full storyline with the crime, thriller, mystery aspect and just look at it on its own, 8.5, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the romances involved, it wouldn't hold up as a show. And that's just the truth at the end of it. If it wasn't for romance, it wouldn't hold up. But at the same time, now I really want a gritty crime thriller with a gay lead who has a love interest. What's the name of that show? I think it was London Spy, a limited series on BBC that kind of had that. Sort of. But I still want this one. I still want something more like a police procedural show. I'd prefer a procedural show. I really want that. I love those. I want Law and Order Boys Love. That's what I want. Okay, so let me know what you think. Do you disagree? Okay, not a problem. I care, but I also don't care. But yeah, hit me up on IG at Time for BL and let me know what you think. I am contemplating doing 2 weddings and a funeral for the Sunday episode, so let me know if you want to see that or if you want to see something else. Here. If you want to hear about that or if you want to hear about something else. I'm losing my mind. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter for updates on what I'm doing and when I'm doing them and all that stuff. And yeah, remember, you can also support this podcast. In the link, it will take you to my anchor.fm page, and you can support the podcast for as low as 99 cents per month. That's awesome. And that's if you can. If you can't, that's all good too. We're all good here. So, have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is JD Young signing off.